It's gonna be a short one today, which
Dude, I
is
had to start.
okay.
My daughter is extremely grumpy when she wakes up in the morning for
Mm-hmm.
anything, because none of us are morning people. So I've started showing her bunny videos in the morning when I wake her up,
Mm.
because she gets that whole, oh, it's so cute. I'm like, yep, get your ass out of bed. Let's go. As I'm dragging
Gotcha.
her out of bed and walking her down the
Right.
hallway.
I do that with my kid and cat videos on Instagram. She's like having a fit. I'll be like, "Oh my god, look at this cute cat!" And I'm like looking at her. And she goes, "Wait, what? I want to see it." And it's like, "All right, yeah, come on over. You gotta relax and look at this cat." And then she does the same thing where it's like, "Oh, it's so cute." And it's like, "Ha, gotcha."
Well, for us, I see them every morning when I come home and when I leave at night for work, but we have rabbits in our yard,
Mm-hmm.
even though we live in a small downtown area. Um, so every morning she'll like wake up on the weekends. She'll wake up, she'll look outside, she'll see a rabbit in our backyard, and then she'll come and tell me about it. It's like, all right, that's
Mm-hmm.
cool, and I'll get the dogs outside.
All right. Get back to work.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, you guys ready to start this thing?
Mhm.
Yes.
Get my notes over here. There we go. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always, returning from assignment, Moonpier
Howdy.
and the Nymph.
You know what really annoys me about Twitch, amongst other things, is that it keeps moving my table flipping icon for chat, and I keep having to look for it.
Mixer would never do that to us, right?
Nope.
R.I.P. Gone too
Still
soon.
wouldn't.
Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. All the early access, behind the scenes, super cool stuff. Moon and I just put the last episode of season 6 in the can of Critical Misses. That's all done now. Now it falls on me to edit it, and episode 2's video took an hour and a half to upload to YouTube. That's how long that episode is. It's like an hour and 45 minutes. Whoops. Oh boy. So, if you want to listen to that here pretty soon, sign up at patreon.com/E1M1. The wonder numbers. Moon, what have you been playing these past 2 weeks?
Nothing.
Okay. Ditto.
No. I basically, I was playing a lot of Life is Strange 2, then real life got in the way, and then I stopped playing that because I, number one, wasn't going to make it to the Game Club episode, so I will discuss Life is Strange 2 when I have finished it, and then once I have listened to the Game Club episode that I was not on. So I
The
can
hour and a
figure out,
half long episode.
as soon as I downloaded it and I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I can't listen to this because this is just going to be spoilers the whole way down.
Step by step.
Almost immediately, it's just like, here's spoilers.
Because Life is Strange 2 is a dark game at the best of times. And
Woof. Yeah.
yeah, probably not what my mental health needs right now, but I will make it through it eventually.
Yeah.
We did talk about the Xbox sale that was on a long time ago. So I did pick up a game there, but that's going to be my last game I talk about because I would like to talk about a game called, on theme, Fractured Minds.
Okay.
Oh, I randomly played that this week too with my wife.
Oh.
I saw that you had played it, and I was like, weird. And then I listened to the episode and was like, oh, he got Game Pass, and now he's playing all the things that I have been talking about. Okay, I see how it is.
That is, spoilers, my list for this entire week.
Oh, jeez. It's going to be a short one, folks.
Okay, so shall we talk about Fractured Minds right here and now? Did you finish it?
Yes, I did. I was actually playing it with my wife because she was actually the one who had seen it. And she's like, oh, let's check it out after she read the description. And I was like, well, all right, whatever. My wife is really into depressing stuff. Which, this isn't necessarily depressing. It just touches on the themes of depression and mental illnesses, instabilities, whatever.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, this was a game created by a 17-year-old.
Wow.
It is about 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
Give or take. It was a BAFTA award-winning game.
Oh, wow.
I think it was the Young Developers Award it got for the from the BAFTAs. Genuinely a very sad and touching game. Very simple storytelling, super simple storytelling, but very, very well done. Especially on the subjects of mental health and things like that. It says a lot without saying a lot. Best way I can describe it. And it's leaving Game Pass real soon. So,
yeah, I think it's leaving this week.
I think so. Usually it's the first week of the new month is when the stuff leaves. So it might be worth, if you've got an hour, giving it a shot now before it leaves. I don't even know how much it is without that, to be honest.
I think it was like $12 or something like that.
Okay, so it's not bad.
I can look it up real quick.
It's a very good game. I don't really want to talk too much about it because that will basically spoil it as soon as you start playing it. I know Boston's playing what I'm guessing is either gameplay footage or a trailer for it.
Yeah, it's gameplay footage. It's like a full game playthrough. It's 15 minutes. So
yeah. Once you know what you have to do for the puzzles, because there's a couple puzzles in it that it doesn't really tell you what you have to do, like specifically with a remote and batteries.
Yes, it should probably worth mentioning. It is like a first-person, like very linear, like zonal puzzle game. It's like here is a room with a puzzle, room with a puzzle, room with a puzzle, so on and so forth.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's pretty good. It was a fun little jaunt. Had my wife and I talking about it. Also on Steam, it's $1.99. I can't find an actual price for consoles. It's not saying anything, so I can't imagine it's much more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not. But it's a perfectly enjoyable experience. You should maybe give it a shot if you want, because, like I said, it's less than an hour, and give props to the young lady who actually developed it.
Yeah, that's cool.
She did a pretty good show.
Awesome.
Good job.
It's also not something that's going to induce any kind of, well, maybe some of the anxiety stuff, maybe. But it's not really.
It wasn't triggering.
Yeah, it's not meant to push your buttons. It's just kind of meant to be there to kind of, like, this is what anxiety can feel like, or that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a cool little game. You should give it a shot, because why not? You've got an hour. So literally the only game you had to talk about this week, Nimp.
No, I've got more.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I have a list of games that you guys have talked about in the past.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Now I get you. The other game I played was Risk of Rain.
Ooh, the first one?
I finally found a platform where this game does not lie to you.
Oh, okay.
Because when you buy it on the Xbox, of course, it's going to have controller support, because that's how you control it. That is an in-joke from about 3 years ago, I think, at this point. So
yep.
Have fun with that one. But no, yes, I bought the pack. It was like $8 for Risk of Rain 1 and 2 on the Xbox. So
nice.
Sure, why not get myself down a completionist nightmare of roguelikes?
Of 2 games. Yep.
And yeah, I like 3 runs in and got like a full clear. So
oh wow.
I unlocked 2 people I didn't unlock on the PC version when Net was busy lying to me.
You still got it.
Yes, I do still got it. Also, in this case, my drone boys are the danciest of drone boys.
Oh man. Love those drones.
Because I had like 7, so
that'll do it.
Yeah. The only thing I had to worry about for the last boss was literally avoiding being hit.
Yeah.
Because that guy will hurt you a lot. I think I unlocked the loader, who I never unlocked previously. When last playing it. I unlocked like 3 other people in that same run. It was just like, okay, cool. I'm not going to run through the menus and try and figure out everything I did unlock because I unlocked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird playing that thing on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It runs real smooth. Like
Yeah. It's a good experience.
Yes. Like I immediately wanted to jump into Risk of Rain 2, but I didn't because I want to actually get the most out of Risk of Rain 1 before jumping into 2, and then so on and so forth. You know what it's like. So I'm probably going to be continuing to play Risk of Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Will I keep playing it? I wonder. Yes, I will keep playing it because
Where
it's
have
a
I
new
heard
game.
that question?
Platform.
Weird.
I don't know.
I don't know. Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Risk of Rain. The music is fantastic still.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about music that rips today. That soundtrack rips. That soundtrack is incredible.
And this is my chance to actually start playing it with the other characters who I never got to experience it with, go through the unlock process again. Like, this is what I'll be doing when Hades comes out on the Xbox. It's like, oh, hey,
yeah,
Hades is on the Xbox. Guess what? I'm buying it day one. Guess what? Bye-bye my life.
Just make sure you don't try and get all the achievements on Risk of Rain. There's one that's virtually impossible.
If you're talking about the open the golden chest one with the adventures key, I'm aware.
No, that one's super easy. One of them is to drown 200 mollusks in the underwater level.
Okay. What's the underwater level?
The one where that has all the water where you can jump really high underwater. You can maybe do like 2 a run if you get really lucky. And you need to do 200. It's impossible. Sucks.
You say that like a grind has ever stopped me.
It's miserable.
Maybe questionable phrasing there.
Just saying, you could be doing a lot more with your life besides grinding for that one achievement.
Yeah, killing
like
a bunch
for better achievements.
Yeah, or playing Risk of Rain 2. Because if you're going for that achievement at that point, like you're done with the game.
Say that.
Yeah.
You say that.
Yeah. It's the only achievement I don't have or only trophy I don't have in Risk of Rain because it sucks.
Like, have you met me before?
There has to be a limit, though.
You and I have the opposite issues where you can't turn it off, and I can turn it off at a drop of a hat.
Right.
So, here is the thing, though, Boston, is I don't have limits. I am limitless.
The limit does not exist?
Moon God Super Saiyan.
God. That's the title of your AMV, right?
Super Moon God Saiyan.
Super Saiyan Moon God Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. SSMGSS.
Yep.
There's a Metal Gear Solid game in there just for fun. But it's me. And by the way, it's 20, dude. Just so you know.
It's 20?
It's 20.
Got hosed over on PS4, man.
Seriously?
Wow, what's it, a bronze over there?
100% is a bronze, and there's no platinum, and that is...
yeah, screw that.
Let me go look it up.
Dude, I will say, though, for PlayStation, the thing that still bothers the hell out of me, even though I don't care about trophies or achievements that much, is that if you don't pay for the game, it still can't have a trophy. So, like, Genshin Impact doesn't have a platinum.
Yeah,
because it's free to play.
Which is weird.
Stupid.
Yeah. You're right, it is 20, which is still impossible, and it's a silver trophy. So it's a little bit less of an FU.
Yeah. Yeah. That's... We'll see.
Yeah.
Endless Voyager might be a more pain in the ass one, which is the collect 4 key cards on the last level. She's fun.
Oh, yeah, that one's easy if you get like a super overpowered run where it's like, I'm just going to sit here for a while. The enemies will die automatically.
I did watch somebody do a 9-minute speed run of Risk of Rain 2 this week.
Wow. I hadn't even seen the final boss of that game, and they're like, yeah, I mean, it was a slow run. It took me 9 minutes. It's like, okay, cool.
And it's even better because there's like 8 levels, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to wait for the ring to spawn for 90 seconds.
Wow. That's crazy.
Like literally, it's spawn, teleporter, start. Spawn, teleporter, start.
Right.
Spawn,
It's like
teleporter,
literally the
start.
fastest you can possibly go.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
But yeah, unfortunately, over the past 2 weeks, that is all I've been playing. I am going to try and add more variety into my life. We will see. There's
Like
a lot
Risk of
going
Rain
on
2.
right now. It's Risk of Rain 2, the sequels to everything we didn't want to ever start.
That's right. That's right. All right, Nimp, what do you have?
All right. So, continuing with my Xbox Game Pass, only wanting to play short games for this week.
Mhm.
I'm glad you liked Deliver Us to the Moon, by the way. I mean, Deliver Us to the Me. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm glad you mentioned that it was coming off because I had downloaded it, I think, like the Friday before we had started that podcast. I was like, oh, I've probably got some time to play it. And then you mentioned it, and then I looked it up. I was like, oh, no, I've got like 3 days. So
Yep.
Now's the
Yeah.
time.
That is a really good game. I would suggest buying it. I think it's only $19, 20 or 19, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not a
cheap.
whole lot, but it's a pretty awesome game. I'm going to go through a list of games. You don't necessarily have to write these down because a lot of them were just touching them, being like, oh, okay, that's interesting, and then moving on.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't touch Naruto Boy, did you?
No.
Because that might get you in trouble. I'm just saying.
No. Anyway, so the first game that I kind of checked out was Vicious Attack Llama Apocalypse.
Okay. I'm not going to write that down because it's too long.
Or Vala.
Yep. Exactly abbreviated as Vala.
Yeah. So this was one of the gold games that you could get for sometime this month, I think it was. Basically, you are in a mech. It is a twin-stick shooter, and you are shooting basically zombie llamas that come at you in waves in these little arenas. And that's the game.
Yep.
Yeah. It seems like a really fun, just shut your brain off and shoot things. And that's what I did for 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, so let's move on to the next game. Really, for it being free, I mean, I don't have any issues. I don't think I would have paid for it. But
Yeah.
the only reason I looked into it, and it's kind of a stupid reason, is because the mech reminded me a lot of a PlayStation 1 game called LAPD, where you had the giant mech.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that game.
It looked a lot like that. And I didn't read anything about it, so I was like, I don't know, maybe this is some weird spiritual success.
No.
It's taking all my effort not to make a defund the police joke right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on. Donut County is the next game that I played.
Yes.
I played this
Great
with my
game.
daughter, who is really obsessed with the raccoon named BK.
Yep.
Yep.
He's great.
I kind of like him because he's kind of a D-bag.
Yep.
It's the Deadpool thing.
Yeah,
Talked
yeah.
about it in pre-show.
I am attracted to other a-holes.
If only that could be a show title.
But it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. I know everyone kept saying it was a lot like
Katamari.
Katamari.
Yes, Katamari. Thank you. I hadn't played those since PS2.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I remember having fun with those, and this would probably be something that my kids would like. It's bright and colorful and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
the moment that my daughter realized the raccoon was causing havoc in the county, she was all for it.
Oh, no.
So
That'll
we
do
did
it.
that. Yeah, I think we beat that in like 2 hours. It's not a very long game at all.
No, it's
but
very short. Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Did you-
And go
Did
ahead.
you go into the Trashopedia at all?
I did.
Yep. Trash
The
Yeah.
is great.
Trashopedia is the best thing in that game.
Went through and read that, and then found out that there was an achievement for it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I guess I'll just scroll through the rest of these other 200 items that are sitting here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Someone did a lot of really great writing for that game.
Yes.
Someone did a really lot of great punny writing for
Yeah.
that game.
There's a lot of good writing in that game for as short as it is.
Yeah.
So,
It's really well written.
and a lot of the
Alive
puzzles.
spaghetti is a snake. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Just even some of the light puzzle stuff, like, hey, you sucked in this campfire and now your hole has a fire in it. Which no, that can't be a show title either, Moon.
No, sadly.
I'm not writing that down.
But then you get you've got this crow that's like kicking these coals down, and you pick up these coals, and all of a sudden you have an inferno coming out, and you can light things on fire, and it's like, all right, this is pretty cool. I set this dude's camper on fire by accident, and
Oh, no.
So here we go.
The balloon away into the sky.
Yep.
so
That's
and
a cool
it's
game.
It was also nice too that there was only one real boss fight in the game, which is at the end.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just the puzzle of, okay, how do you get literally everything on this map into the hole that's growing as you're sucking down stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, you've got this one boss fight, which isn't terribly difficult. It just,
No.
I mean, even my first time, I think I got hit once because I was trying to figure out, okay, what's this beam it's shooting? Oh, it's an ice beam. Oh, it covered the hole in ice. I can't suck anything down, and now it's hitting me. So, yeah. Also, that great game. Everyone should check that out. Next
Fire
game
Extend is a spicy candle store.
Yes.
Great.
Next game was Fractured Minds. We already talked about that. Stellaris. I literally turned it on. It gave me a wall of text. I knew it was going to give me a wall of text, and I backed out of it because I was not in a mood to read and figure it out. I will be in a mood for it.
Yes.
Just not right now.
Not that moment.
Yeah.
The first one, I was like, what was it? Oh, the Choose Your Races.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, let me go through and read these wall of texts for all 8 of these or however many there are. And then I do that, and it gives me another wall of text, and I'm just like skimming it. I'm like, no, I need to actually read this to know what's good. No,
yeah, because it gives you the first wall of text where it's like, as humans first entered the stars in 2200. It's like, okay. All right.
Like, just give me what my pros and cons are for each race.
Yeah, exactly.
And who my leaders are and blah, blah, blah. No, it was a whole history lesson I was not ready for. So.
Yeah.
So, the next game I tried, Descenders.
Yeah.
I cannot get used to the controls for this game.
Mm-hmm.
It takes
They're a
some
little
time,
bit weird.
I'm not gonna lie.
And it's also weird because I do, which I can start up again this year, I do mountain biking. So like all this downhill and rock jumping and stuff like that, I do this so I know how it works. And the physics in this game are a little wonky and the controls are a little floaty. And I can't tell you how many times I've just completely blown off the track just trying to make a turn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I did 5 areas, nodes, whatever in the first map. Whatever
Welcome
you want
to the world of roguelikes.
Yeah, whatever you want to call that. I did 5 of those, and I was doing all right. And then I was doing like a first aid station or something so I could get more health back. And I fell off my bike so many times just trying to get more health back. I was like, no, I think I'm done for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes.
The key for roguelikes, especially this one, is to just embrace the failure.
Yep.
Because
it's not even the failure
generated
thing. It was just trying to figure out the control. Like it's seriously like when you're trying to do a sharp turn. So you have to do basically your fishtailing your bike so that way you can make that turn. It's trying to get the timing down so that way I'm fishtailing it just right. Because it's either I do it too early and I'm off the track, or I do it just a hair too late and I'm flying off in the air down the side of a mountain.
Yep. I've got some clips I could show you.
Yeah. So I'll mess around with it. It is mostly just getting used to how, I guess, loose the controls are for the game. But other than that, it seems pretty fun.
So stupid and so great at the same time.
I can bunny hop. So
there you go.
It's going to be hilarious when you get to the point where you have to do the end of level jumps, like the end of the map jumps. Basically, you get to the finish and then it's a big jump. And I think the first one is a jump over a railroad track with a train going over. You will find, so roguelike breakdown here for you, Boston, make notes for future Descenders gameplay.
Yep.
You can add a ring of fire to the last jump by going through the infernal node, which is like a node that's on fire. If you crash, you lose 2 health instead of 1, but your points are doubled. So it's a great chance to get more teammates and increase your ability to do things that way. Doing the on fire node gets you the ring of fire. By going through the ring of fire on all 4 of the final jumps, you get to a secret 5th world.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah,
that's great.
Roguelikes.
Fun. Yeah, some negative world BS right here.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So, continuing with roguelikes, I jumped into Slay of the Spire. Slay of the Spire, not Slay of.
I'm trying to stay away from this until it shows up on We Roguelike It because I know it's going to be a problem.
I
I
may or may not have two people on my case about this game almost every single week. Like, why are you guys gonna do Slay the Spire?
Get thee away
What?
from me, Satan.
Mhm.
I have done 5 runs, I think, on this. My very first run, I managed to make it to the second boss and couldn't beat him.
Oh, wow.
But since then, I don't think I've been able to get back to the second boss.
Right.
And it seems like they changed too, because I don't know if it changes based on if you've already beaten the boss that was like your first boss. If it changes because you've beaten that boss, or if it changes because it's a different run.
Mm.
Because I've got like 2 trophies for beating bosses, and they were both the first boss that you run into.
Oh, okay.
But I'm playing as the default sword character person thing.
Mhm.
I have the next class unlocked, but I'm sticking with this one just because it's telling me that I've got like 2 or 4 more things to unlock for it before I'm done with them.
Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing that means more cards. But yeah, the card aspect has kind of really drawn me into this.
Mm.
And I've gotten off pretty lucky by being able to get the vampire cards
Oh,
pretty
there you go.
early and upgrading them quickly, so it's doing a ton of damage and giving me back a fair amount of health,
Yeah.
which is pretty awesome. But I've run into issues where there's like this weird lizard thing that I run into every once in a while in the second map where I think it dazes you. And basically what that does is it will randomly generate a daze card instead of your normal cards. And
Mm.
you can't use that card. It's basically just a filler card.
Oh, okay.
And I kept getting like 1 card that I could use and then like 4 dazed cards.
Mm-hmm.
This is getting me nowhere. I
Right.
hate this. So, it's either dazed or confused. I can't remember. There's 2 of them and they basically do the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's confused. Crap, hang on. My mind is turning. Okay, confused I think makes it so it changes how much the card costs to play it.
Oh, sure.
And dazed is the one that it takes over that card slot and makes it useless.
That makes sense.
So, but confusion didn't really seem to make sense because you would see cards where it's like, okay, this card would normally cost 2, whatever mana or whatever have you points, and now it costs like 4. And then your 0 cards would cost like 1 or 2. And every once in a while you would see it where it's like your higher up cards that were like 3 or 4 would cost 0, or they would cost 6, or they would cost 10. And I think it just randomly assigns numbers to it. Right. I don't think there's a real rhyme or reason for what it's doing. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I almost killed an Iron Knight, which was the second boss. I was really close until it pulled off some weird boss shenanigans, and then it killed me.
Great.
And that was garbage. So I stopped playing that for a moment. But yeah, that looks and has been pretty fun. I not wasted, but I think my first run or my first playthrough before I looked at a clock, I played it for 3 hours straight.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, I was really getting into the strategy of trying to figure, okay, what cards do I want in my deck? What cards am I unlocking? What does this do? Do I want that in the deck? How is this helping me? So the last couple of runs, I always have these 2 armor cards that give me either 8 or 10 armor, and sometimes I'll get them both in the same draw, so then I'll have like 18 armor, which pretty much means that nothing's taking away any HP from me. But then I'm starting to figure out, it's like, okay, now I need to actually be able to do damage, and some of these weapon cards that I have can apply weakness or, any other stat. It's like, all right, if I upgrade this makes it so that they have this stat for longer, and then my cards start doing more damage. And
oh, right.
Yeah, it turned into a real thing. So
yeah, turned into a real deck builder problem.
So after playing that for a bit, I then downloaded Monster Sanctuary.
Oh no!
Yeah. So
yes.
I've taken on my second champion monster thing in this game. I'm really enjoying it so far.
It's really good.
I haven't gotten as far as you, but
yeah, I haven't finished it either because screw that game. But up until that very end point, it's really very good.
Exactly. So far, I'm really liking it, and I like what it has there. I'm just waiting to get screwed over like Boston, which should be in another 8 hours. So.
Does it have difficulty options?
No, I don't
Okay.
believe so.
Cool. So that patch didn't come out. Cool.
I honestly didn't check. Whatever I
Yeah.
have it set to is default right now, so
Yeah.
it may be something in the menu somewhere. But
Yeah, you got
I'll look
about
next time.
probably got about 20 more hours before it decides to not let you finish the game. Not
Nice.
that I'm salty or anything. God, that game is so good. Man.
Yeah, because I went all the way down the rabbit hole of those tree skill,
Yep.
the tree table that you get for each individual monster, and I'm
It's
in
crazy.
what is it, the blue map area, blue swamp or something like that. I just made
Something
it
like
there.
that,
Yeah, and it's ramped up the difficulty a little bit. I haven't had to change out because right now I'm using a blob. I chose the spirit wolf as my main
The red one?
thing. No, the blue one.
Oh, okay.
And then I've got a bird from like the first area
Yeah.
that I'm using. And basically all I do when I find a hard enemy is I buff everything up in my party. My blob heals and it poisons, and that's what I do for the next 5 to 10 minutes to kill anything in this game so far.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I just not looking forward to getting the hose job at the end.
Yeah, man. And like if you don't, that would be awesome, and share your secrets.
It's gonna be the blob all the way. I'm taking that thing all the way to end game.
I got a team of 6 blobs and I still couldn't do it, but yeah. Man.
You like taking a team of dittos to see the Elite Four or something?
Essentially, yeah. Because like the cool part about this game is not only does every monster you recruit have 3 or 4 skill trees, but depending on what monsters you recruit, sometimes they will have skills in their trees that synergize with other similar things. So if you have like 3 goblins in your party, they'll have skills that synergize with the other ones. Same with 3 blobs. They'll say, oh, you do 15% more healing if you have another blob in your party, but that one does 30% more damage because you have another blob in your party. So like you can kind of stack 3 blobs and they all kind of feed each other and make each other stronger. It's a really cool system. Like it's way deeper than it has any right to be.
I've got it set up right now where my bird does an all-party buff for physical damage, and I just upgraded it so it also does it for magical damage.
Nice.
It's also set up that from that point on, with that buff active, anytime another buff happens, there's an extra random buff that gets added to, the party.
Yep.
So I have the bird go first to buff up my physical and magical attacks. My wolf goes next, who does glory, which increases, like, I think, crit hit chance or something like that, which then adds extra buffs to everybody. Right. And then the bird has another buff that increases, it does, like, extra damage or something like that. Like your physical
like another hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone gets that, and then it adds another random buff. Right. So it's like, this is like some SMT crap.
Yeah, like 2 turns in, and you're just yeah.
I haven't actually done anything because I've been bringing my characters up to God tier on this.
Right, but the enemies are already half dead for some reason. It's like, this game's awesome. Yeah, Monster Sanctuary is super cool.
Yeah. Next game from that, I started playing Deep Rock Galactic. Yeah, I played about 2 hours of that with random people online. That's been pretty interesting. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've burrowed somewhere and then fell down into a cave. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I've been figuring out how to play that. I've been using the gunner mostly, and I'm still doing, like, I guess the first map to region, where it's got like this set of goals. It seems like it's the tutorial, but it's not calling it that. So I've got like these 10 things or 10 missions that I have to do first, and then it seems like it's just going to let me go and do whatever. So I'm about 7 or 8 of those through right now. Egg Hunt was the last one that I did, and that sucked. Mostly because I jumped into a game with somebody who was constantly getting wave attacks. And these were like massive enemies that were armored, and I'm standing on, I don't know what it was, but there wasn't enough room to move around. It was, it sucked. It was dark. I couldn't see. I was constantly being attacked, and I was dead 3 or 4 times before I just dropped out. So yeah.
It's It's a great game that can be very confusing. You said you were doing an egg hunt. Was it the destroy the egg hunt or the find the egg hunt?
I think we were finding. When I redid the mission by myself and hosted it, I was supposed to find it.
Okay.
So, which
Did you
that
enjoy those squishy, delicious, wet-sounding walls?
yeah, which
Oh,
that
no.
wasn't so much an issue. It was the fact that it just placed the eggs so far apart from each other, and I had one that was down at a bottom level, so I had to go down there, and then I had to basically burrow my way through the ground to get to this egg, which made it a lot easier when the wave came in because there's only one way for them to come to me, which is a dwarf-sized hole in the wall. So all I had to do was turn around with my Gatling gun and just let loose. Good luck.
Right.
The second one was like way up, like high, like above where my current map was. So I had to burrow all the way through that to get to it. And then the third one was like way off in the distance somewhere that I had to find. And at that point, I had 2 other people jump in, and they were helping me out with that. And that made it a lot easier because they knew what they were doing, as opposed to me where I'm just throwing grenades at a wall to see if it will make holes in the wall. It does.
It makes holes, but not good enough holes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's really fun. I enjoyed it. Seems like it's a great co-op game.
Yeah.
And all the random people that I've been playing with, I don't talk to any of them, but they're all pretty helpful. Like, I haven't had anyone who is just the dude staring at a wall or something like that. It seems like everyone's in there to get their thing done and get out, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
I frequently play with a dude who stares at a wall, and his name's T-Bomb Rocks.
Heyo.
But he's not a random, so
Yeah.
not for me anyway.
True.
After that, I played a little bit more Haven. I got to a very difficult boss, and I was like, all right, I'm going to come back and play this later. Basically, I found these 3. I made it to another floating island. There were these 3 robots that landed, and then you have to fight them. And I was not prepared for this fight at all because my characters were hungry, which slows down how quickly your gauges fill. It was not at full health at all. And I had to figure out their attack patterns so then I could also figure out when to actually attack them and then what they were weak to, so that way I could do the most damage. No, this is too much right now. I just wanted to find a thing to add to the ship while I was looking for seeds and nuts.
Right.
So jumped out of that, and then I played Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. Let's talk about this game for a moment. You should play this with headphones if you haven't played it before, because the character deals with what seems like multiple personality disorder. You have many different voices that are hers and some that aren't, and they're constantly talking to you. And you can only really hear them if you have a headset on, because they do like the full 360 surround
sure.
to you thing, which is really cool. And speaking back to Fractured Minds, it kind of plays with your anxieties a little bit, because there comes a point a couple of times where one that I can think of specifically is there's basically a rock that you just have to jump down from so that you can continue on the level. And the voices start telling you, it's like, oh, well, you need to do this to get out of here. But should you really do this? Do you need to do this? You can always turn around. And then you jump down. And the voices are like, oh, you did it. But now you can't turn around. You're stuck. You're here. You can't. The only thing you can do is keep going. And so it kind of keep messing with you like that. And it's actually kind of really cool. I've beaten the first boss that you come across. I don't remember his name, but it's the illusionary boss. Because you can basically choose one of 2 doors, and I chose the left door. And getting to that boss is actually really cool, because you are in a forested area. And basically what you have to do is, since this is a god of illusion, what you are seeing is not necessarily what's there. So you have to find basically like these doorways. They can, so far in this forest, they've just been like 2 posts with a top post, and there's like a deer antler skull hanging from it. You have to go through those, and it will change the perspective and how the world looks. And I'm not talking like it changes colors or anything. I'm talking like you can walk and you can look around this doorway and see, okay, if I walk through here, all of a sudden there's a bridge in this area that isn't currently here right now.
Oh, I see.
But it's small, tiny things. Like if you just walk through there, you're not going to notice the change.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to pay attention to your surroundings currently. And you can, like I said, you can angle the camera because you have to be facing the doorway a certain way. And you can angle the camera. You can see, okay, looking back and forth. Okay, if I look at this wall, there's an actual wall here. But if I look through the doorway at that wall, it's actually busted out and there's no wall there. So now I walk through this door, walk through that wall, open another door, walk back through the portal. So that way that wall is there again, and that allows me to do a puzzle later on because I can walk across that area and get into that area because I opened that door. So that level was pretty awesome. It was also kind of a pain because there's specifically a point where you're trying to align sigils basically, and the forest is full of these sigils, and you have to find the post that way it starts, or the doorway, so that way it starts getting rid of the extra sigils that you don't need. So yeah, that took a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool game. The boss fight itself is pretty fun too. The fighting in this game is kind of weird because you're not randomly fighting stuff in the world. It seems like you get to an arena area and then you start having things show up to fight. And then the camera kind of changes where it's a lot closer to your person that you're playing as. They're pretty much taking up like the left side of your view. But that's also because so that you can see the items that are on her, because certain items will glow and light up whenever you can use them. Like I have this iron shield ability that lets me slow down time, and I can tell when I can do that because there's 3 different glyphs on it, which means I have 3 different times that I can use that. So it does a lot of cool stuff like that, like with what Dead Space did. And because the camera is really tight up on there, you're usually doing like one-on-one fights. I've started getting to a point now where like 2 or 3 things may pop up at once, but in the beginning, you're just fighting one thing one-on-one, and then you can mess with being able to block and parry and doing strong and weak attacks and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. The story so far is pretty interesting. She is losing her mind, and really cool. It's supposed to be really short too, so yeah, it's kind of the reason why I picked it up and started playing it. But yeah, Hellblade, really cool game. Play it with headphones.
Yeah.
The last game that I played this week with my family was Minecraft Dungeons. That was a lot of, my son has already beaten this game, and he's already, he beat it forever ago. We bought it for him, but he had the settings set to hardcore. And we jumped into it, and all of us except for him got one-shotted.
Right. And you're like, buddy, what's going on here?
Spoiler alert, that is sure some square Diablo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, dude, you need to we're either not in the right area that we need to be in, or you need to figure out your settings, because this is not how we left this game.
We can't play on Nightmare 25, man.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, well, I don't know. First he was like, I don't know what I did. I'm like, we'll check the difficulty and see where it's at. And he pulls it up, and sure enough, yeah, it's like, default, normal, whatever, hardcore, 25 levels all the way this way. I'm like, yeah, bring that just a little bit over, and
yeah,
good to go. So once he brought that back down, we were able to play it again. But yeah, it's just a lot of us yelling at each other about arrows, and me hitting a wall because I can't remember where my character's
Yep, that's Minecraft Dungeons.
So we cleared out, what was it, the swamp area, I think was the area that we were in, which is like the second area. We all cleared that out. We got a bunch of stuff. My daughter is losing it because she has a pig now that's following her, and she thinks it's the cutest thing. My son has like a parrot or a bee or something that's following him. I don't even remember what I have. So like when we first jumped into it, I'm like hitting, but because I was using the Joy-Con, my wife was using the other Joy-Con, so we had them flipped. So we were trying to remember, okay, obviously this isn't going to be A, B, X, Y, because they're sideways now, so those don't align anymore. I'm like, all right, which one's attack? Which one's potion? And I'm sitting there like the one guy who keeps trying to attack, and it's like, oh, used a potion. Well, it's a good thing these regenerate, because yeah, went through, blew up a bunch of witches, blew up a bunch of cauldrons, Took on the final boss fight, which was a giant cauldron. Blew that up. Had a good time.
Yeah.
So that's all I played this week.
Oh, nice. I played a little bit of Stellaris myself. I did unlocked a whole bunch of trophies this week about new features that I'm not gonna dive into. So I decided after I'd done that, I would start a new playthrough as the latest race, which is the Lithoids. And the game is like, oh, well, they're like rock people and they don't really need food. They largely live on minerals and stuff like that. It doesn't seem significantly different than other playthroughs, which is fine. But some of the other races have been pretty interesting. This one, at the very least on the surface, doesn't seem too markedly different. And I think they're more of a spiritualist empire than I typically play, so I should see some different events and different options that I normally don't see, which I'm hoping will let me see some of the other new features from this latest patch, because we're on 2.6 point something now. So still a little early on that playthrough, nothing super notable yet, but I'm hoping that'll lead to some mid to late game new discovery sort of things. My last game this week, and pretty much the only game I've been playing this week, it was on sale, so I said, sure, why not? Let's play this again. I'm most of the way through Spiritfarer. It was on sale for like $20 or something like $17 on PS4, and it's like, sure, let's play Spiritfarer again. There's a new patch out now with a new spirit that I have not yet run into. It's got to be late game because the latest spirit I just got is Giovanni, which means I'm pretty close
Only
to
about
being...
halfway through.
Well, I only have one more to get after this, so I only have Elena to get.
Giovanni to late. Okay.
Yeah, because I was trying to get rid of Bruce and Mickey first because they're the worst. But I'm not able to until I have Giovanni, so it's like, fine. Spiritfarer is so good. Like, it is very much the relaxing game that I needed right now. And it's fun playing through it a second time because it's like, oh, you need comet ore. And it's like, okay, I remember to get that. No worries, get on the boat, Giovanni. Let's go do this. It's like, oh, you need silica dust. And it's like, all right, I remember the building I need to make for that one. All right, let's keep expanding this boat, keep making this stuff. So it's been kind of fun to just, I'm still exploring because, I still find that rewarding where it's like, oh yeah, I found another island. I kind of remember this place, but I don't remember where all the secrets are and all the chests and the blueprint chests. So that's still been fun to say, like, yeah, how do I get up there? Okay, and kind of puzzle that out. Yeah, Spiritfarer is that has been all I've been playing this week because it is the right speed for me right now, and it is still just a really great game. And I played that on PC last time, so I'm going through and trying to get the platinum for this. And I'm like halfway through the trophies, I think.
It's a great game.
Yeah. The only ones I have left are like improving everybody's buildings and then doing the 2 choices for Astrid and Giovanni, which I'll cheese that one. Just
might as well.
I've already played through this once.
Yeah.
I'll play it through a third time. Like, don't tempt me with a good time. But like, I don't necessarily need to. And I'm still keeping my eye out for the new spirit, which I haven't seen anything about yet. And I don't really want to look it up yet because I'm assuming it'll come as I sort of get a bunch of people off of my ship. Normally, at this point, I have a whole bunch of people on my ship, but Atul and Gustav both boost everybody's happiness so much that they've been on my ship for so long because I'm...
Keep them there forever.
Yeah, they'll be the last ones to go, probably, because I need them to boost everybody's happiness for that trophy, which I have a spreadsheet for because I kept forgetting. It was like, has this person been the happiest? I don't know. Let's do it again. And then 5 minutes later, I'll be like, has this person been happy? So I just have a spreadsheet that's everybody's name and yes or no if they've been ecstatic. So, yes, man, Spiritfarer is great. They also just said they sold 500,000 copies, which is really great. So good on them. That's a huge success. If you haven't played Spiritfarer yet, I think it was really high on our top 10 list last year for all three of us. I can't recommend it enough. And it's, now that I've had some time away from it, going back and playing it, it's like, yeah, no, this game is still really good. It's not just, it didn't just hit me at the right time. Spiritfarer is just a really great game. But that's all I'm playing this week because I didn't have time for anything except for Spiritfarer, apparently, to play through most of it. Because, boy, yeah. All right, let's take a break. Something in my throat all day today.
Called a tongue, dude.
Ah, that's it. There it is. Hem. Okay. Since we got started late today, are you guys ready to do the second part of the show?
Yep.
Yup.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of April 25th, 2021. Genshin Impact comes out natively on the PS5. I believe this is also coming alongside a 1.5 patch, it seems.
Which gives everyone their own area to build in and create, called, wait for it, the Serenity Pot.
Great. All right, I guess I gotta install it again. All right, here we go. I'm really curious to see how it's gonna run on PS5 because they said it's gonna be native 4K and it's gonna load faster, which it loads really fast on PS5 already. So I'm pretty curious to see what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
R-Type Final 2 comes out Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Series X. My vote for probably one of the funniest titles this year, but R-Type is great, so I'm not going to make fun of it that much. New Pokemon Snap comes out on the Switch. If its title didn't tell you already, it's a new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah. I hope this one sells.
Yeah, everybody seems very excited about it, and it seems really good, so I hope it does well. And lastly, Returnal for PS5. A lot of previews coming out for that this week that are all telling me really good things that I need to hear about this game, which means I'm probably just gonna scoop it up this week. That's grumble. Another great game. Here we go.
Damn it.
I know. It's just, well, they're saying, number one, it's made by Housemarque, so I don't think they've made a bad game yet. And then they're saying it's an Alien, the movie, inspired third person, not bullet hell, but like screen filling bullet thing, roguelike shooter. It's like, yeah, cool. All right. You checked a whole lot of great boxes there. So I guess I'll buy it.
Yeah, well, you're not allowed to play it for at least another 2 weeks. I'm just saying.
That's right. Yeah, I need to do my homework first. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on to news stories. Just really peaked my mic there. Sony says they're going to keep the PS3 and Vita markets stores. Let me try that again. Sony's going to keep the PS3 and Vita storefronts open. The PSP store will continue to close, but I mean that's not as big of a deal as the other two.
Yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot for that.
Yeah, that wasn't the biggest problem. Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan wrote in a blog post that, quote, "It's clear we made the wrong decision here," end quote. So, yeah, you nailed it on that one. You really have the finger on the pulse on the feedback there.
Well, I would have to assume that they were looking at data of, okay, how often are these stores being accessed?
Oh, absolutely.
And it peaked at a point where they're like, okay, whatever, this amount is the amount that we're going to close this, that way we can save servers or whatever.
Yeah.
And then everyone who hasn't touched a Vita or a PS3, not me, because my Vita's sitting here and my PS3 still gets used in my bedroom.
Right.
We're like, oh, wait, you're doing this thing now? And it's like... I mean, it's been 10 years
Yeah.
for the PS3 at least.
Yeah. I mean,
Vita, I'm still a little saucy about, but
yeah. I mean, we talked about it on the show that it's sort of from a business and infrastructure standpoint, it's understandable that you would want to sort of sunset some of these older storefronts, especially if they were going to lead to some sort of platform improvements. But they never,
But they never said that.
yeah, they never said
never
anything. They're
said
just
that.
like, bye, losers. I hope you didn't enjoy these platforms that you now can't use anymore because we're also going to pull the patches off the platform. So it's sort of like, yeah, you guys made the wrong decision because, one, you didn't explain it, and two, you weren't just shutting down the store, you were just sort of shutting down the entire infrastructure underneath this entire platform, which is made so much worse by looking at Microsoft's attitude and their investments on the entire Xbox ecosystem, which is like, yeah, man, like if it works on backwards compatibility, play it on whatever. Who cares? Play it on the cloud. I don't care.
if you want a blast from a past, there was a news article that came out yesterday afternoon, I believe it was, that was saying that if you use a new browser plugin for Mozilla Firefox, you can access the old PlayStation Store, which would still give you access to the PS3, Vita, and PSP original storefront page.
Yep. They only took some of the pages down and not all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I'm glad they found a way to keep them open. I just wish there wasn't a Sony level of communication around the whole thing. Because that's what it just continues to be, is Sony being like, all right, we made this decision. Peace out, nerds. And everyone's like, wait, why are you doing it? What's wrong? Where'd Sony go? We were in the middle of a conversation. And then Sony coming back and being like, so everyone seems angry. What's going on? How are you all feeling?
Hey, on the plus side, though, this really pushed the archivalists to like grab as much as they could. Mm-hmm. So from what I had read on the gray side of the internet, about half, if not more, of that store has now been archived.
Great.
Whereas before it was just, here and there.
A couple here and there. Yeah, that is really good. I actually meant to look at how good PS3 emulation is, because I have heard over the last year or so it's taken some pretty major leaps. Because like PS1 and PS2 emulation is in a really solid point at this point, but PS3 has, as hard as it was to develop, it's hard to emulate.
That cell chip really screwed up a lot of things.
Yeah, it's really gummed the whole works, man. Jeez. Our other news story here on the other side of the alley here, Xbox has removed live gold requirements from a ton of free-to-play multiplayer games this week. Put out a list of like 40 games. Some of the highlights here are Crackdown 1 and 2, Call of Duty Warzone, which is a huge one, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Rocket League, 2 Human, all the giant hits of the platform, and literally like 30 or 35 more games. So if it's a free-to-play title on Xbox, you won't need Xbox Live Gold to play those games anymore, which is the right call, because why would you? Like, they're free to play, so why not let them be free to play? So
I'm not gonna lie though, as much as I've randomly seen 2 Human pop up in my life recently, I've almost wanted to put the disc back in until I've realized that I got it for free forever ago, and now I want to download it and check it out again, because it's been a couple of years.
It's been about 10 years. Yeah, I remember enjoying that game, even though I recognized it wasn't great. I still had fun with it.
It had an Alpha Protocol vibe to it.
Yeah. And I remember one of the biggest problems of that was the incredibly lengthy respawn animation. That was really kind of the sticking point for a lot of people. The rest of it was fine, pretty average, but
yeah, story was so-so. It was just a fun looter game.
Yeah. Let's move to, we got an email here from Nick R. Says, hey fellas, hope all is well with y'all. Wanted to write in about the discussion with MLB The Show. We talked about that last week, saying like, I don't know if it's more simmy or arcadey or if it's a good starter. Says, I've purchased this game every year for about 10 years. It's the only sports game I play. I'm a big baseball fan and the Atlanta Braves fan. So I look forward to this every time it comes out. Y'all were wondering if it's more sim than arcade, and the short answer is yes. You can dial the difficulty up to legend. I can't even play on that level, which is, here's another Nightmare 25 here. There's also sliders to adjust every aspect of the game. You won't be able to use those settings for any of the online component. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So with it being on Xbox for the first time and Game Pass is awesome, I've no issues with it reaching more people. I still purchased it on PlayStation for my PS5 for the new gen look. I can say it looks amazing in 4K 60 frames. Back to the accessibility talk, they added a casual mode for the newcomers, so there are modes to allow people to come into it and enjoy it. I did just download that today, so I'm glad that there's a casual mode for people like me that enjoy baseball but don't play baseball games.
It just talks to you very slowly. Just hit the A button,
that's
and
right.
everything will be okay.
Yeah.
From what I learned is basically is when you're throwing the ball back to try and get, when you're a fielder, the face buttons correspond to the bases. That's the most common misconception most people have.
Cool. Yep.
So
like the old days.
First, yeah, so
Right.
first is the B button, second is the Y, A is home,
Right.
so on and so forth.
I like it when baseball games do that. I think that's a cool thing. Like, you don't have to worry about, like, hold left on the D-pad and then hit A. It's just like, no, man, hit X. That's where it's going to go. I played last year's version for over 300 hours. Wow. It was by far my most played year. First when I got the Platinum Trophy. That's why I still purchase it from PlayStation. I'm just comfortable with it there. Appreciate you all listening and ramble on it. Thanks for the content. Keep up the good work, Nick.
Hang on, Nick. You didn't answer our question. Does it have the simulation mode where you just let them play a game by themselves and you watch?
Oh,
Baseball Manager.
Okay, so you want simulation mode, not simulation mode.
No.
I see. Yeah,
that was
right.
part of the question. I'm just messing with them now.
Right.
I haven't played any of the NBA games, but I could have sworn that one of the NBA games you could have it just run a season and you could just watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that, but you could. I know the NFL one definitely does.
I can sum it up in one word for you. Achievements.
That's right.
You still get achievements just for watching it?
For watching it or simming it, like generally speaking, the achievements like, hit 20 seasons in career mode. It's like, okay,
right. Sim.
Open the calendar, forward 20 years, highlight the calendar date for 20 years, and the thing, hit the Y button to sim it, and then just sim the whole way through.
Go to bed.
Just a progress bar that gives you an achievement.
Yeah.
Seems horribly broken.
Yeah, I don't know if this one. I don't know if this one has that. I don't know if it has just a baseball manager mode.
I always think it's cool, specifically with the NFL one, whenever they do like the Super Bowl every year, where they're like, whatever, 2 teams. And they're like, well, according to Madden, whatever year it is, this team won. And
the Browns are going to win. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. That's not true.
You're not supposed to have Barry Sanders in that team. This isn't the Legacy Edition.
Right. It's a common mistake. Yeah. Thanks for writing in, Nick. I downloaded that. I haven't played a baseball game in decades at this point, so I'm kind of curious.
MLB '94 and like the Sega Genesis or something.
I mean, like Ken Griffey Jr. on the Super NES, like that. Yeah. That was the last one I probably put any real time into. So I'd be curious to kind of check it out and see what it's. It's literally $0. So why not $0 and 72 gigs of hard drive space? So like. My Xbox, neither of my consoles are anywhere near being filled up. So, why not? Why not give it a shot? I'll find some time to play it somewhere. All right, that's our episode for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. TVGP.tv is where you can visit us. You can find and follow us everywhere on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Help me pay for the show. You can see what all the everything costs on there. Get us to the $250 mark, so I can go play some scary, spooky stuff live on stream. We are playing a new game for Game Club. Like Moon was talking about, we just came out with the recap episode for Life is Strange 2, the hour and a half plus marathon recording that we had. So now we're going to play Signs of the Sojourner. Which is a pretty significantly different game in almost every respect. Not on Game Pass, which for some reason I thought that was. So You can go buy that on your platform of choice. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Boy.
Bye.
Okay, Nib. What are your titles?
Actually, hang on. You guys want to know something real stupid? I found out recently that there's a channel on Twitch that's MXC only, 24/7.
Great. I love it.
Constantly have that on in the background. Obviously not
So
right
good.
now, but
Right.
just wanted to throw that out there.
Call turn down your radio. It's just, you got it, Ken.
I only have 3 titles tonight.
Okay.
One is You Still Got It.
Mm-hmm.
Danciest of Drone Boys. And Super Saiyan God Moon Saiyan, or however the hell that was.
I have just SSMGSS. All right, Moon, what do you have?
Drone Boys. A grind has never stopped me. No. Alive Spaghetti. Share Your Secrets and Square Diablo.
Alive Spaghetti. I have It Doesn't Lie to You. SSMGSS. Deliver Us the Me. Spicy Candle Store. Square Diablo. Drone Boys, and Alive Spaghetti. Square Diablo, I feel like is probably my front runner here.
I like Square Diablo. I like SSMGSS.
Yeah.
Because it's so stupid.
I also like Spicy Candle Store, but none of those are doing it for me like Square Diablo does. Square Diablo is just a funny combination of words. Just
hey, that's what the game is.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, and you're funny. It's the best of both worlds.
It is. I can fully understand why you can't, but it is still weird that you can't break things down in that game.
It's.
Which, I mean, they do that with the Frozen 2 DLC stuff that my wife and daughter plays.
Mm-hmm.
You can't break down anything in there because they have puzzles and stuff for you to figure out.
Oh, sure.
And it would obviously be a lot easier if I could just build a block here to reach this thing, or chop down this tree and get to the things.
Right. I broke down this wall. Haha.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They put a lot of effort. I think they finally did patch that Frozen 2 DLC stuff. Because it doesn't seem to be corrupting their save anymore, and they've put
that's a plus.
Yeah, they put, I think Friday, my wife and daughter played that for like a couple of hours, and they put a lot of detail into that game. So
wow.
Anyway, sorry, out in the weeds again.
It sounds like Square Diablo is our title then.
Yep.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
That was fast. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh no, that was too fast. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 705 for April 26th, 2021. Square Diablo.
Better than a hypercube.
I can't tell if it's a cauldron or an iron hat.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching and listening. We appreciate you. We hope we'll see you next week. Bye.